September 1990. Car Sevaks under BJP veteran L.K. Advani launch a massive Rath Yatra across Uttar Pradesh. Their agenda: garner support for the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, construct a Ram temple at Ayodhya's Babri Masjid. From Somnath to Ayodhya, the Rath travelled. November 1990. Advani's massive roadshow is stopped at Samastipur and Advani is arrested. December 6, 1992. An overzealous crowd, impatient with the ongoing Babri dispute, takes matters into their own hands, and the Babri Masjid is demolished. Massive riots break out across the country. Hundreds are killed in Babri's bloody aftermath. Now, 25 years later, the apex court revives conspiracy charges against BJP veterans. L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti. The Supreme Court said conspiracy charges will be revived against Advani, Uma Bharti and Murli Manohar Joshi. Kalyan Singh to face trial after tenure as Rajasthan governor ends. Lucknow Session Court to conduct day-to-day hearing of conspiracy charges against the BJP veterans. Court proceedings to begin in 4 weeks. Judge hearing the case will not be transferred, and the CBI to present witnesses in court. Minutes after the ruling, BJP leaders emerged crying foul.
तरह से सहमत नहीं हूं, उसको खारिज करता हूं, नए सिरे से खारिज करता हूं, और ये सीबीआई ने जानबूझ करके ये सारा स्वयं उसने आपराधिक साजिश रचने का काम किया है.
In the dock, Uma Bharti too remained defiant.
साजिश का सवाल ही नहीं है. यहाँ तो सब खुल्लम खुल्ला था. मन में, वचन में, कर्म में एक ही बात थी, साजिश करने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी कि भव्य राम मंदिर का निर्माण होना चाहिए.
ये मामला 1993 से चल रहा है और किसी न किसी प्रकार से चल रहा है, और इसलिए आज तो कोई नई स्थिति पैदा नहीं हुई. तो इसलिए जो परिस्थिति आज से पहले थी वही स्थिति चलेगी.
Meanwhile, pro-Babri Masjid camp emerged victorious, hailing the ruling.
अडवाणी हैं, कल्याण सिंह हैं, उमा भारती हैं, इन्होंने आवाज देते हैं कि एक धक्का लगाओ, मारो, गिरा दो. तो ये सबसे बड़े तो मुल्जिम ये हैं.
As the BJP continues to use Ram Temple as one of their key poll planks, the Supreme Court's ruling comes as a wrap on any agenda that wants to see the construction of the temple at the cost of peace and violence. Will the Supreme Court ruling then finally affix responsibility for the carnage that unfolded after the demolition? With Mausami Singh in Ayodhya, Bureau Report, India Today.
25 years is a long time in politics, which is why many of the figures have changed, their lives have changed. Let's take a look at what those figures were, who those figures were, who were the key in 1992. L.K. Advani, the grand old man of the BJP, he took out a Rath Yatra from Somnath to Ayodhya for the Ram Mandir. In many ways, he became the face of the movement. Present at the Ayodhya rally, he was a witness to the demolition. Many said it was his speech that in a sense had galvanized the crowds. He claims though he tried to pacify the mob, but it went out of control. Claims he tried, as I said, to pacify the mob. L.K. Advani, now senior leader still, he became Deputy Prime Minister under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Claims the next person that we want to look at, who also played a key role in this time, Uma Bharti, allegedly made provocative speeches at the rally. She's now the Union Minister for Water Resources. She was witness to the demolition. She was there at the spot at the time. Take a look at who else was making a key role. Remember, she became a Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, now is Union Water Resources Minister. Then you have Kalyan Singh, now the governor in Rajasthan, then chief minister of UP. He had assured the Supreme Court that the Babri Masjid would be secure, had also given a similar assurance to then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. His government was dismissed after the Babri Masjid was demolished. He won power in UP again once, but is currently governor in Rajasthan. And Murli Manohar Joshi, the other key figure here, he was at Ayodhya in the rally, he witnessed the demolition, photographed hugging Uma Bharti joyously after the demolition. And he is, of course, now a senior leader, union minister under Vajpayee. In fact, many saw him as a potential presidential candidate as well. And my final plotter in a way is Vinay Katiyar, who played a big role in the entire Kar Seva movement, then with the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, became a BJP MP and is currently a Rajya Sabha MP of the party. These are some of the 5 faces. I want to raise one more interesting face, P.V. Narasimha Rao. He was then the Prime Minister of the country. He cited Kalyan Singh's assurance but didn't impose President's rule before the demolition that has led to question marks over his role. Dismissed all the BJP governments, but only after the demolition of the Babri Masjid. Suffered a defeat in the 1996 election and eventually was banished from the Congress by the Gandhis. And Ashok Singhal, who is now dead, remember, and we should remove that right away. Giriraj Singh, Vishwa Hindu Parishad leader, and that again we should remove these two. I apologize to our viewers for these 2 mistakes that we have made, bad mistakes made on the channel at the moment. Bal Thackeray, no longer there. The Shiv Sena founder, he is dead. Bal Thackeray, no longer there, but at the time, Mr. Thackeray had taken credit for the Babri demolition. Let's go then straight across to some of the big questions that I want to raise tonight. Madhu Trehan joining me. Appreciate your joining us, Ms. Trehan.
Thank you.
Journalist who was there at the spot on the day. I'm also joined by Harish Salve, former Solicitor General of the country. Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress is with me. G.V. Narasimha Rao of the BJP is with me. And Shantanu Sen, CBI Joint Director at the time, is with me. We're going to go back into time. And I want to start with you, Madhu Trehan, because you were there at the spot. Or at least you covered it intensively. Your journalists in Newstrack were there at the spot. In your view, is it fair to say that L.K. Advani and others failed to stop the demolition and therefore today the Supreme Court is right to pursue the trial against them?
First of all, L.K. Advani started his Rath Yatra on September 25th in 1990. After he brought it to Delhi and he stopped, then went by train to Mughal Sarai, there is an imagination that Advani...
I'm playing those shots now when he was moving during the Rath Yatra.
This is during the Rath Yatra.
Yes.
There is no footage of Advani exhorting the Karsevaks at that time. He was not doing that.
On December 6th in the afternoon?
He was not doing that. Let me explain. The major questions, none of the investigations throughout the Libehan Commission, throughout anything, have not investigated the real story. The real story is the collusion between the police and the government. The collusion.
And when you say government, you say the Kalyan Singh government of the BJP in UP and the central government. And Narasimha Rao's role.
Don't forget, never been answered these questions. Narasimha Rao was missing for 36 hours. He wasn't taking calls, he wasn't doing anything. He'd gone under. Why? Because it was rumored, and I repeat, it was rumored, that he had made a deal with the VHP who had told him कि आपकी गद्दी पक्की रहेगी, ये होने दो.
So Mr. Rao's role under question, but would you concede that the primary responsibility was, even if Mr. Advani was not exhorting the mobs to demolish the masjid, was to control them? Who was to control the mobs?
I'll tell you,
the BJP started the Kar Seva.
The VHP had planned this to the last dot. If you examine our tapes that we did at that time, you'll see at the right moment, at a particular moment, there are men with yellow bands and there are men with orange bands. At Ashok Singhal's signal, the yellow band headband men started pushing the orange men out. These are questions that have not been answered. How did another question that has not been answered. Do you really believe that a big structure like that could be brought down with picks and shovels? It was imploded, and I was told by a very senior politician at that time, I cannot prove it, but he told me this, that Israelis were brought in earlier who stayed in a hotel and taught them and gave them information on how to implode the structure without it splintering out and splashing.
You are making a distinction therefore between Ashok Singhal and the VHP
completely.
With LK Advani and the BJP.
I think LK Advani was responsible for resurrecting Hindutva, कि हम हिंदू हैं, हम गर्व से कहेंगे. He was responsible for the Hindutva, a bandwagon going across the country, but he was not responsible for the actual demolition. And when the demolition took place, the reports that I got are not very flattering to...
You've seen the celebratory pictures of Murli Manohar Joshi and Uma Bharti hugging each other when the, masjid was demolished.
Yes, Uma Bharti and Murli Manohar Joshi were hugging each other. But the question that you have to answer is, how did this big structure come down on its own with no injury to anyone? All right, it imploded inside. Yes, these two were hugging each other. I saw those reports also. But LK Advani, I think it's an unflattering report to him. So I don't want to say what I got because he's a respected old man. But he was upset. Let's put it that way. He was upset that it was happening.
He was upset and possibly lost control of the situation, as he now claims.
He wasn't in control to begin with.
It's an interesting perspective you're giving me at the moment. I appreciate your...
And can I bring in one more point?
Yes.
There was a gentleman called Shrish Chandra Dikshit, who used to be a police officer, and then he joined the VHP in 1986. He plays a very crucial role in the whole implementation of this. When these car civics were not being allowed into the shrine, he went and he spoke to the police officers. Within 2 minutes, he was in a shawl. Within 2 minutes, the gates opened and the car civics were inside. Also, if you see in our footage, there was a mutiny or an engineered mutiny when the senior officers were saying "Roko," and the police officers refused. They stood there.
So the role of the police, which means the role of Kalyan Singh in particular, again comes under the scanner. He allowed he allowed the car sevaks to enter the Garbhagriha. He allowed them despite the police presence.
And you see footage of the policemen filing out of the area. One more thing, the real story today is, why is this being done today to Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi and Uma Bharti? Why? What is the story? Why are they doing it?
We'll come to that possible conspiracy, but let me raise some questions tonight. The Babri Masjid demolition. Has New India moved on? Delayed by 25 years. Is true justice even possible now in this case? Should Uma Bharti, minister, and Kalyan Singh, governor, step down? Does the Babri trial affect Advani's presidential chances, if any? Are lower courts unable to resolve cases involving politicians? Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you've heard just now what Madhu Trayan has said. She's tried to distance in herself Advani ji from what happened on the 6th of December. However, today the court has made it very clear he will face conspiracy charges. The question I want to ask you, the Congress has been in power for much of this period in the last 25 years, 15 of those 25 at least. Why did you not act to ensure that justice was done? Why have I had to wait till 2017 for the Supreme Court to get involved?
I think somebody needs to read the judgment very carefully and you'll find most of the answers there. I want to say 3 or 4 points very quickly, Rajdeep. First of all, it is a judgment which repays study and authored by one of the most outstanding judicial minds of the country. It shows how no nonsense, straightforward judging, no fudging of issues can have a direct impact on the merits. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Please go ahead, Dr. Singhvi.
Hello. Yeah. Now, the second point is, in 2001, early in 2001, in 97 itself, a common charge sheet is filed. The charge sheet is common on all offences, including conspiracy. The CBI itself files it. In 2001, the court, and this is the crux of the Supreme Court judgment, 2001 special judge says these are common, indivisible common charges and they must be tried together. However, the appellate court reverses it on a technicality but upholds this point of a common conspiracy. the Supreme Court today notes that the CBI did not cure the defect. When the state government refused to cure the defect, the CBI in 2001 onwards deliberately chose not to appeal. That's point number 2. The Supreme Court repeatedly castigates the conduct of the CBI, saying we fail to understand how this confusion is created by the CBI.
Power from 2004 to 14. Dr. Singhvi, let's not deflect from the fact that the Congress had ample opportunity.
Let me complete.
No, you must stick to the point, sir.
Can I answer, sir? You are interrupting me without having read the judgment, perhaps. How is it possible when the 2001 order is superseded by a subsequent order which comes to Supreme Court, which the CBI appeals because of the UPA, and the Supreme Court today allowed the appeal filed by the UPA, during which time the CBI was with the UPA. Now, the Supreme Court nevertheless says we fail to understand why from 2001 to 2004 there is no challenge to the original order. The UPA can't challenge the 2001 order in 2004. The UPA did challenge this order. So you are wrong on your facts. Let me tell you the third thing, very important.
No, you made your point. I want to move on.
That this is something where the delay is engendered by those. So today people complaining of delay.
I want to move on. GBL Narasimha Rao, you've heard what Dr. Singhvi is saying. He is claiming that in 2001, the CBI should have appealed against the order. You did not, because L.K. Advani, frankly, was Deputy Prime Minister at the time. Now in 2017, based, according to Dr. Singhvi, on the efforts of the UPA, we finally have an opportunity 25 years later, possibly, for the criminal conspiracy to be unraveled, if at all. In this period, I can tell you, many of the witnesses have even died, and yet we will have a situation where the trial starts again. Do you concede, GVL Narasimha Rao, the BJP has always been uncomfortable with this Babri demolition trial, because you know somewhere that there is blood on your hands?
I think this is absurd, Rajdeep. I think when you say you are seeking the justice for whom? Justice for Babar?
No, I am seeking justice for the 1,000 plus people who died in my city of Mumbai after the Ayodhya demolition. If the Babri Masjid had not been demolished, there would have been no riots in Mumbai in December and January of 92-93. I seek justice for them. This was the criminal act. Just like Godhra was a criminal act that led to the Gujarat riot, this was a criminal act.
Legally, these are different cases. I think as a journalist, you might want to brush them all together, but legally, the court heard only the case concerning the demolition of the disputed structure. That is the issue at hand. And if the Congress is willing to accept, Rajiv Gandhi should have been convicted for the 1984 riots, because it was
the demolition a criminal act or not?
Rajiv Gandhi and the Congress
was the demolition a criminal act or not?
Were massacred.
I ask you whether the demolition was a criminal act, sir.
And their leaders should have been convicted on the same charge.
Was the demolition a criminal act or not?
No. Okay.
As Madhu Trayan is saying, the police allowed the car sevaks to enter. Kalyan Singh's government was in charge. Was it a criminal act or not?
Rajdeep, any illegal act, I think, will become a case before the honorable court, and they will find who is culpable in this. But an act of God and an act of mob cannot be blamed on individuals who have nothing to do with this directly. So therefore, the attempts of the Congress, when they were in power, he himself has admitted, when they were in power, they tried to create the kind of the investigative agency. We know what the CBI was called then. The order of the court today is in reference to the CBI's appeal against the quashing of the conspiracy charges by the Allahabad High Court and the trial court, and they went in an appeal to the Supreme Court, the CBI, and subsequently one of the petitioners in the title case also went to the Supreme Court, and today's order is a result of that.
You have not answered my central question. Was it a criminal?
They will emerge unscathed because there is nothing directly implicating them.
Narasimha Rao, I just want a straight answer in 10 seconds. Was it a criminal act, yes or no? Was it a criminal act that deserved to be punished or not? Was the demolition a criminal act, yes or no?
I think that's for the courts to decide.
I see. Okay.
That's for the courts to decide.
Which is the problem?
I'm not sitting in judgment.
Which is the problem, Hari Salve? Today, 25 years later, we are reaching the stage only of the trial to start in a lower court. 25 years. What does it say about our judicial system that we still don't know, in a way, who is going to be held accountable for the demolition of the Babri Masjid that led to severe riots across this country?
If this case has had its overtones, and the Supreme Court has at least established that they felt that this was a case for trial, and they've sent it back to trial. Why it took time, please understand, there have been governments of all hues and shades over a period of time. And nobody has obviously been proactive in trying to push this, because sometimes there are certain cases which you put on the back burner. Now, you and I both, we all know what the problem of 92 was and how it has been dealt with. I feel, Rajdeep,
I just want to try and understand, case being put on a back burner, it really means, Shantanu Sen, that the CBI perhaps was somewhere told, particularly after the NDA came to power in the late 90s, that this is not a priority case. You had the Deputy Prime Minister who found himself under the scanner, no less. So therefore the CBI perhaps was also under some kind of political pressure.
The CBI is a fall guy in this case, there's no doubt about it. With 185 adjournments and only 156 witnesses examined, the case has proceeded at a snail's pace. And one cannot but deny that this snail pace could have been speeded up had the CBI been proactive. But be that as it may, this case, be that as it may, this case has political overtones. Mrs. Madhu Treva's analysis is a political one. The CBI is concerned with the criminal aspect. Prima facie evidence, what takes place in hotels, underground, etc., but CBI does not know about. CBI may have heard, but CBI has not been able to collect evidence. It may be inadequacy at the CBI's
No,
part.
Mr. Sen,
but where
Mr.
CBI
Sen,
has
in 25 years, in 25 years, the CBI cannot collect evidence? In 25 years, the CBI cannot collect evidence in a case like this?
Rajdeep, after the charge sheet is filed, and the charge sheet was filed within a few years of the incident, investigation does not continue normally. Investigation is over unless issues are raised. Now, if CBI formulated the entire evidence and put the case in court, at that moment CBI felt it had sufficient material against all the 1922 conspirators and the number of car savaks for the responsibility of the demolition of the Babri Masjid and the death of people.
Sir,
now CBI goes by prima facie evidence. I concede that delay is inexplicable, and the delay has taken place because CBI has played to a certain extent cat's paw.
No, I wanted to be straight. Hari Salve, as a former Solicitor General of this country, is it that because this is a VVIP case, that the CBI and the courts did not push the envelope for 25 years? That at the end of the day, it suited everyone to have this matter adjourned time and again?
I don't know whether it was political pressure, because from 2004 to 2014, if there was political pressure, it would have been in the opposite direction. I think, Rajdeep, what worries me more is more than what happened on 6 December 92. What happened in Bombay in January 93? Nobody was prosecuted. People were massacred. I think those are more serious issues. So, I mean, this is there. This is a problem. This happened. It was a political movement which had legal overtones, and where this trial is also going to end up, I don't know.
I want to bring you in, Madhu Trehan, once again, because the fact is, you're hearing from the political class today, the BJP today is making it very clear. We have nothing to be ashamed about, whether it's Arun Jaitley who's saying it's over in 1993, what had to end, the Shiv Sena which is saying we are proud of what happened in Ayodhya, to Uma Bharti who's saying a mandir has to be built there. It appears no one is accountable.
Well,
because if today we say that the masjid demolition led to riots, then surely there must be some nature of accountability for what is broadly seen as some kind of a conspiracy.
But you,
it was an illegal act.
The investigators should also look in the right direction. If you say that L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi and Uma Bharti were responsible for rabble-rousing speeches, yes, they were guilty of that. But were they responsible for the conspiracy on the technicalities of, and the logistics of how to bring the dhancha, as they called it, down? That has not been investigated. That's point number one. Secondly, I think that we have to remember that it was Jawaharlal, the reason why L.K. Advani started his Rath Yatra in Somnath, symbolically because Somnath was a temple that was rebuilt after it was destroyed by Muslim invaders. Yes. By the Nehru government, Jawaharlal Nehru government, under pressure from Sardar Patel and the rest of them. Secondly, the locks were opened by Rajiv Gandhi and Arun Nehru. The first Shilanyas took place under Rajiv Gandhi's watch. And this demolition took place under Narasimha Rao. So the Congress has been involved in this, although they don't like to admit it because they lose the Muslim vote bank. So the Congress is
part conspirator in that sense.
And interestingly enough, when L.K. Advani was advancing towards Ayodhya, he was at the border of UP and Bihar. At that time, the chief minister of two chief ministers were Mulayam Singh and Lalu Prasad Yadav. They were competing with each other to arrest him because they would garner Muslim votes.
It's interesting you're putting that in perspective, because Abhishek Manu Singhvi, and I'd appreciate a shorter answer this time. The fact is, the Congress today, which sees this as vindication of their stand, actually is partly responsible also for what happened on December 6th, because Madhu Trayan is bang on. The gates of the Babri Masjid, the lock was allowed to be opened by Rajiv Gandhi. The Shilanyas was performed when he was Prime Minister. Therefore, there were a sequence of events that eventually led to December 6, 1992. And the Congress too has much to answer for in that sense, for its failure to allow this issue to be resolved well before this.
Rajdeep, first of all, neither of us, maybe a few think so, but none of us has the luxury of being witness, giving evidence and then giving judgment about what we think happened or not. Mm-hmm. We are today discussing reams of reports and a Supreme Court judgment. Now, to the best of my knowledge, for the last 40 years, with varying colors of government, there has been nobody accused as an accused called Narasimha Rao, and no one accused as an accused called Rajiv Gandhi. Howsoever personal evidence you may give, I may give, somebody else may give. So let's stick to the facts. You have to read two paras, Rajdeep, to put things in perspective. In para 20, the Supreme Court says this: in the present case, crimes which shake the secular fabric of the Constitution have allegedly been committed 25 years ago. The accused persons have not been brought to book largely because of the conduct of the CBI in not pursuing the prosecution of the aforesaid alleged offenders in a joint trial, and because the technical defects which were easily curable were not cured by the state government and the CBI did not challenge it. All of this happened from 2000 to 2004. All of this.
No one.
The second
I think you made that point.
Here is
Dr. Singhvi, you made that point. You are reinforcing the point. There is much that the BJP has to answer for. No one is denying that. But the Congress cannot also wish away its role. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister. He could have imposed President's rule ahead. He knew that there was a large mob which had gathered. Please let us not wish away the role of both Rajiv Gandhi and Narasimha Rao in the lead up.
The Congress, please let us not wish in the role of people who are not either mentioned in the judgment nor in multiple charge sheets for 30 years nor as accused. Let us not in television programs on our own subjective viewpoints within 30 years with not an iota of evidence bring in as accused on the one hand Narasimha Rao, on the other hand I find it absurd. We may have our own views, but today we are discussing something very different also. We are not discussing whether Mr. L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi or Bharti are guilty. We are discussing whether they should face a trial for conspiracy.
Okay.
Who delayed this trial for conspiracy so long?
Point taken.
Unfortunately,
GVL Narasimha Rao,
the CBI.
GVL Narasimha Rao.
Today, they may be acquitted. They should have been part of the trial.
GVL Narasimha Rao, the central question remains the role played by your senior leaders. The fact is, your senior leaders today are facing trial for criminal conspiracy. And yet the BJP is saying not one of them will step down. What is the message you are sending out? Or is it that the BJP likes the idea that you keep the Ram Mandir pot boiling with this judgment? That you want the Ram Mandir pot. Narendra Modi was the charioteer of L.K. Advani for part of the Rath Yatra. Yogi Adityanath was the car sevak at the time. So history in a sense is such that the BJP cannot distance itself from Ram Mandir. You actually want to take pride in what happened on December 9. For you it is Shaurya Divas. That's the reality, isn't it? You don't believe it's a conspiracy. You don't believe it's an illegal criminal act.
Rajdeep, the demolition was a culmination of certainly some kind of a mass mobilization.
Are you apologetic for it or not?
Minority appeasement politics of Congress.
Are you apologetic? Forget the Congress for a moment.
Peak.
Are you all apologetic?
Really started
I don't see a single apologetic statement made today by you.
Apologetic about what?
Apologetic about a criminal act that led to riots across the country.
Why should I be apologetic? I think if anything, the apology must come from the Congress. They indulged in appeasement politics earlier. Now, after today's verdict, they are wanting to play victimhood politics. Now it's from minority appeasement to minority victimhood
the Supreme Court has held your senior leaders.
I would like to
the Supreme Court has found prima facie evidence against your senior leaders good enough for a criminal conspiracy to begin. And you are telling me today, GVL Narasimha Rao, that you have no reason to be ashamed of this?
No, Rajdeep, nothing. But certainly we respect the due process of law. We certainly hold our high courts in high esteem, unlike the Congress party. If anything, they must explain why do they have their chief minister charge sheeted in office. They should explain why the Congress party doesn't feel ashamed about their top leaders facing National Herald charges, cheating charges.
Sir,
but
we can discuss that. We can certainly discuss National Herald on another day. Today it is your leaders who are in the dock.
The BJP feels these charges.
One second, Rajdeep.
Yes, quick response. 30 seconds. Abhishek Manu Singh, we keep it at 30 seconds, please.
One sec. Only
no,
one sec.
I think this is
not a response. No, I don't. I'm not responding. I'm saying something in 30 seconds. I'm saying something in 30 seconds.
But certainly we feel
in a lighter vein. In a lighter vein.
Yes, what is it that you're saying? What is it in a lighter vein, sir?
Rajdeep. Yeah, in a lighter vein in 30 seconds, and I don't want or expect replies on it. Let us try to look at this delicious irony and connect some unconnected dots. There is suddenly in the Supreme Court, in this round, the CBI redeems itself, argues strongly for the appeal to be allowed and for the charges to be framed in a joint trial and the conspiracy to be revived against these persons. And connect those dots with the presidential elections coming a few months later.
It's a part
and
of...
you have a delicious question.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. You are now... No, 1 minute. You are now making a serious charge, Abhishek Manu Singhvi. You are suggesting almost that this is a conspiracy to ensure that L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi...
It's your legacy.
Are not in the presidential race. You have made a very serious charge, Abhishek Manu Singhvi. No, you have said that. You are suggesting that L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi have deliberately been acted against by the CBI under instructions from the Narendra Modi government to be pushed out of the presidential race. That's what you are claiming. You have no evidence to back it.
This is absurd, Rajdeep.
You have no evidence to back it.
This kind of kite flying on your channel. Please don't allow a flight of imagination.
Okay, it's a fanciful flight of imagination, but Madhutrayan, I'll give you the final word. Because this is where you seem to start. Madhu Trayan, in your initial remarks, you seem to suggest somewhere, also hint towards that. Why is LK Advani being brought into it? Why Murli Manohar Joshi? But the fact is, they have been originally charged.
I'm not giving birth to conspiracy theories about the reasons because of this presidential election. I'm just saying that the investigation should go after the right people, which some of them who have passed away, and it's a bit late now.
So you believe Ashok Singhal should have been the one, Kalyan
Singh should have been investigated.
They should have been the ones investigated.
That while the politicians on the program are going on with their whataboutery, and the legal minds, I respect the legal minds, are going around with their legal things, it is our job as journalists to actually find out this. The story is, why now? What do they expect to bring out of it now? And what would be the right thing to do instead of going after people who just gave the speeches, instead of going after today, even today, until last year, I know that our cameraman was still being called by the CBI to give evidence until last year.
That clearly shows, and with all the eyewitnesses to be once again brought to the courts, this will take a very long time, which leads me, thank you very much, to my take tonight. 25 years is an eternity in politics. Most of the key players during the Babri Masjid demolition have now exited the political scene. Some have even died, even as a few marginal figures remain in power. A criminal act has gone largely unpunished. Worse, in the riots that followed the demolition, hundreds were killed. Very few were punished. India has had Congress and BJP governments in this period, but justice has eluded the riot victims, which is why one cannot help but be cynical of the Supreme Court's intervention at this stage. Sadly, it could now yet be a case, another case, of too little, too late. Coming up next is our Get Real campaign. Tonight, a ground report with the farmers of Tamil Nadu and part of our Get Real campaign. Over the last few days, we are seeing political leaders in Tamil Nadu plotting to save their chairs. This, even as the state's farmers, at least 100 of whom have committed suicide in the last few months, continue to suffer. The power struggle in the state between Palanisamy and Selvam is one part of the story. But the real story is on the streets of the national capital, where farmers are resorting to all kinds of acts to somehow or the other get the national attention. I decided to speak to the farmers and find out what message they wanted to send to their netas. Listen in to the farmers of Tamil Nadu. Farmers from Tamil Nadu have been here at Jantar Mantar finding new and unique and novel ways of protesting and demanding a farm loan waiver and drought relief. Ayakanan, this is your latest strategy, it seems. Why are you doing all this? Is this the only way to attract attention? One day you are parading nude in front of the PMO. Today you are staging this masked Modi beating you up. Why are you doing all this?
Sir, for the past 36 days, we are here to demand the Modi ji, please come and see us. We are helpless. We have the heavy drought in Tamil Nadu. More than 1 lakh acres of crop are withered without water. You please help us. But Modi don't want to see us.
So you are staging all these dramatic events?
Yes, they are beating us with the hurdles.
My point is, why are you not doing this in Chennai? You go to Chennai and do this. The state government is there. They have to give you loan waiver.
The Cost and Price Commission is only in Delhi. The nationalist banks are under the control of the central government and the finance minister Arun Jaitley ji.
No, but why can't you go and complain to Palanisamy or to Selvam?
Already we given so many petitions. We agitated that. We said they are arrested, remanded us there in Tamil Nadu also 6 times for regarding this. Then only we came here.
Look at the camera and tell me, today in Chennai, over Jayalalitha's legacy, Palanisamy, Selvam, Sashikala, Dinakaran are fighting with each other. What happens to you and the farmer? What do you want to tell them?
Sir, we are not bothered about their fighting. We are only for the all India farmers. The government is not giving the profitable price to the farmers. When the Prime Minister, before the election, the Modi ji announced that I will be the Prime Minister of India. I will give the 2-time profitable price to the farmers. But
in UP, there is a loan waiver in UP.
Sir, only UP is not all over India. All over India, all farmers suffering. There is no profitable price. They must give the profitable price.
But there are many many economists who are saying loan waiver is not good economics. It may be good politics, but not good economics.
Yes, yes.
You will then get used to every time defaulting on your loan.
In 1970, per ton sugar cane is 90 rupees. The teacher salary is also 90. They have raised the teacher salary now 36,000 per month. Our sugar cane 1 ton is only 2,325 times. Their sugar is 400 times increase. What is the pathetic? They must give the profitable price. Then we don't want the right of loan. We are not giving.
You want a remunerative price.
A remunerative price.
Tell me, how many of these people that have come? First there were 174. Now there are 110. Are you losing patience? How many days you will stay here?
We are diarrhea and we are heavy.
You ask them. Are they ready to die here? Ask them. Ready?
All out.
You are no, but tell me, are you not staging a drama every day, some new thing to attract media attention? That is why you are doing this.
No way that there was 36. Sir, but for the past 36 days, we are staying in the road. We are sleeping in the road. We are sitting in the road.
Where are you getting your food and all that from?
Sir, some people, we are begging the people, the beggars, they are giving the food for us. Sometime we went to the...
And you will stay here till the very end?
Yes.
Till you get your loan, you will stay here?
We will be here till our victory, otherwise we will die here.
But Prime Minister has not yet come to you.
Yes.
You want Modi ji to come here?
No. If we give him permission, we will go there.
You will go to Modi ji?
Yes, we are ready to go to the give the permission. We don't want to give the permission. That is the pathetic and
so today as
we
a
are
farmer,
the slave of the India.
So you are saying government helps industry, government helps everyone else, but they don't help the farmer.
Because the government already write off 3 lakhs rupees borrowed by the corporate companies. But they refuse to write off loan borrowed only 72,000 all over India, 80 crore farmers.
I am very impressed with the unity. All of you are very united. All come from the same area?
Not same area, 28 districts.
Mainly Kaveri Delta?
No. All over.
All over. Maybe we will need Rajnikant to come here. Only then they will listen. Huh?
Yes, not Rajnikant. Any cine actors will come, they will help us.
Only then there is help.
Actress.
You want an actress to come?
They can only help us. Nagma is also came, he tried to help us. So many, if the latest cine actors come, definitely they will take us to the Prime Minister's office.
Modi will meet Rajni and other actresses, other Swamijis like Satguru and other people, not farmer.
This is what you believe. He will not meet farmers, he will meet the actors.
Yeah, that is what it is happening.
What is your name?
My name is Prakash.
I thought it was Narendra Modi. I like the way you are using the mobile. But tell me, you believe that nobody cares about the farmer?
My father also give you a mobile.
Father has given you mobile?
Mobile.
What do you want to tell your leaders of Tamil Nadu? They are fighting between themselves for power. Who should be Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu? What do you want to tell them?
So
you are only telling Modi. What
Tamil
about
Nadu farmers? Tamil Nadu politicians are under a political problem. So we are also get my problem. Our Prime Minister of India.
You have lost faith in Tamil Nadu politicians. They will do nothing for you.
Not unbelievable. Our number of Maryland. Unbelievable. My Tamil Nadu politician are unbelievable.
Okay.
Only believable our Prime Minister of India, Modi ji.
Okay, so
our
you are
Finance Minister
Arun Jaitley.
Arun Jaitley ji.
Okay, so if Arun Jaitley ji, Narendra Modi ji, if you are listening to this, the farmers are saying they want you to listen to their voice. It is of course a contentious issue, that of loan waiver, but if a loan waiver can be given in Uttar Pradesh, then the farmers of Tamil Nadu are saying, what about us? Is the question that they are asking the centre. And those are the faces and the images that perhaps should haunt our leaders who are fighting for power in Chennai at the moment. Farmers facing drought, our netas looking for the kursi. But our image of the day, all credit today to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because the Prime Minister today has taken an important step and he deserves commendation for it. He has shown the red card to red beacons. The big question is, as the cabinet says, no minister or senior bureaucrat will have the red beacon anymore on their cars. Will it really end the VVIP culture, or is this simple tokenism? Either way, an important step has been taken in the move to tell our VVIPs where to get off. Ye laal rang अब नहीं चलेगा। गुड नाइट, गुड बाय।